Hello everybody and welcome back. If you are returning here, then you know we are in the middle of our digital nomad prep series. If you're new here, you may want to watch this video or this video to get caught up, and then you can come back and join us for this one. We have already made an overview video of how this entire plan got started. We made an overview video of what each step of the plan would be. And now we're really getting into the nitty gritty of the things that needs to be done. As our time to departure gets shorter and shorter, the things that we need to do and the timeline that we need to do them in keeps getting faster. And one of the biggest things on our to-do list was sort of decluttering our home and getting our home ready for us not to live in it. So our home's not gonna be empty. It will have a mixture of house sitters and family and friends and our dogs living in it. And that was important to us. We wanted it to be lived in and used, but it just won't be by us. And so we are preparing for that. So if you're interested in the long-term travel or digital nomad life, or you just want to hear more about decluttering, then keep watching. This was supposed to be a proper chit chat with me and my coffee, but I actually had to re-record most of this because my microphone wasn't on, the dog was barking, I kept getting calls. So now the coffee's empty, but nevertheless, we go on. So let's start with what our back home living situation is going to be like while we're abroad. So like I mentioned in some previous videos, there are a wide range of how people do the long-term travel digital nomading. Some people sell everything they own, literally all of it, pack their stuff into a suitcase, leave, okay? We're not doing that. Some people save up money and take extended trips, but all of their things are back home when they have a determined return date. We're not doing that either. We're trying to find something in the middle. And what you'll hear throughout this video is that this is all about flexibility for us. We know that this is something we're interested in and we want to do it and we expect to like it, but in the end, we have no idea what it's gonna be like until we're doing it. And we want to be able to make the decision that's best for us and not kind of be pigeonholed into one path because we burned all the other bridges, if you're following. Okay, so our home situation is going to be, we're keeping the house and people will be living in it. Because of that, we're not necessarily getting rid of everything. We're not selling all of our furniture. The house isn't going to be empty. It's not being necessarily rented out to other people we don't know. But there doesn't need to be as much stuff in the house if we're not here to use it. So especially the things like in our bedroom, in our bathroom, in some of the extra rooms, a lot of it just simply needs to go. A lot of duplicates, just a lot of the things that you end up collecting over time of living in any space. So I've done declutters before, but something about this one just feels different. Like it's one thing to declutter your house to have a better space for you to live in, but it's another thing to do all of this work decluttering for a space that you're about to leave. And that has been a very interesting thing to sort of come to terms with throughout this whole process. So example of things that we're getting rid of are some clothes we're not using, extra appliances, standard decluttering stuff, decor that isn't necessary anymore, smaller pieces of furniture that we don't use, some things that we've been storing, expecting to use, we will probably be getting rid of that now as well. We're using things like Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp and Buy Nothing groups to get these things out of our house. And the method I've taken for this decluttering is a little bit different than methods I've used in the past. So I'm essentially using what I like to call a phases method because I don't want to do this in a way where I'm getting overwhelmed or overstimulated and frustrated, but I want it to be more of a relaxing, like cathartic experience. So each area, I've broken the house up into different rooms. So I'm doing it one room at a time. And each area I will do in different phases, but I will do them staggered, right? So I'm not doing 3 and 4 phases in one room at one time. I will do one room and come back to it. So in each of the rooms, the first round of decluttering is your standard, we have too much, we're not using it all, get rid of what you don't use and need decluttering, okay? Very low stress, no real hard decisions, going through the areas and like I had some expired makeup that I didn't use. I had lotions that I didn't like the smell of, so I got rid of those. Clothes that didn't fit or I didn't like anymore. Furniture that was broken, appliances that didn't work, home decor that was outdated. Things like that where it's not really you having to make a lot of decisions, right? You don't like it or don't need it and you just get rid of it. So I would do that in each individual room: bedroom, bathroom, closets, kitchen, living room, living spaces, garage. Then after that, I would go back to the beginning and do it all over again. And this would be phase 2. The different phases don't have specific names, but I just tried to break it up into little pieces. So in phase 2, I would think, if I came back 1 year from now, would I use the stuff that's still here? And for example, I had a mascara that I use every once in a while, but not often. But if it sat untouched for a year, I'm not putting it on my eyeballs. So I got rid of it. There was a lot of bathroom products that did not make the cut. There were some clothing items that I was still kind of wearing now, but I knew that it's not coming with me on the trip. And when I came back a year from now, I'm like, I'm not wearing it. I don't want to. And got rid of that. There's like a ton of blankets in this house. I know I'm cold, but my goodness, I can't be that cold. Downsize the blankets. Really just think about the things that we were not going to use and wouldn't use upon our return. That was phase 2. Now, phase 3 got into more minimalism, like minimalistic. And that's pretty much how the rest of the phases are. And I'm gonna keep going around the house probably until we leave. So my goal is to really pare it down to as little as possible, because I'm thinking, right, whenever we come back, after an experience like this, we're gonna be different people than when we left. And we're gonna wanna have the space to be our different selves in our home, should we come back here, that I didn't want it to feel like it was cluttered with the memories of who we were before. Like, I have some canvases I got from TJ Maxx that I just don't think that will be what I want this space to be when I get back. And so as I go through phases 3 and 4 and 5, it's really getting everything down to what I would consider minimalism. Am I doing great? Who knows? I would say, like, this is an example of it, but this is how this has looked literally forever. That's not the declutter minimalism. That's just how this house looks. A lot of white walls. We're working on it though. Well, we were working on it. Now we stopped working on it. Anyway, that is sort of an overview of what we're getting rid of. Next is deciding what to sell and what to donate. And this has been an ever-changing goalpost since we started. The first idea was, let's just take quick pictures of everything and list it on Facebook Marketplace. And I don't know about you, okay? I use Facebook Marketplace a lot. And after like 5 items, I knew that was not going to be the long-term plan. If you haven't been on Facebook Marketplace as a seller in a while, not even in a while, honestly, if you've been on at all, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You list one thing. The first 7 messages, spam, okay? They want your phone number, they want your email, they want to hack into your accounts. You're like, leave me alone. Then the next 10 messages may not be spam, but it's, hello, is this item still available? Yes, it is, no reply. Hello, is this item still available? Yes, it is, no reply. Someone might say they're gonna come pick it up, they don't show up. And then maybe the last 4 messages are people that would actually come and pick it up. Okay, for every single item, while you are doing your day-to-day living, working, doing house stuff, for everything, I was like, oh, no. That's not happening. So this is what we've decided. Initially, it was anything that was valued or we thought would sell less for $20, we would donate. Of course, to back up, trash is trash. Trash is trash, that got thrown away, recycled. Now, for the things that weren't necessarily like just trash and no one would want it, this is what we did. $20 was the barrier for listing it on Facebook Marketplace, okay? So if we thought this would sell for at least $25, $30, maybe $22, we would give it a shot. Over time, as we've gotten closer to us leaving, that number went up to 50. Now, personally for me, that number is 100. If it's gonna sell for less than $100, and that's like not even a given, right? This is me wanting it to sell for $100. It'll probably just get donated or given away. For the donations, we are using things like our local thrift stores, still using Facebook Marketplace, but buy nothing groups. And we have a neighborhood Facebook group, as well as I'm in a neighborhood group chat. That, and also sometimes friends, depending on what the item is. I'm trying not to just give things and like burden my friends with things just because I don't want them, because that doesn't need to be their problem either. But there are specific things that I feel like they might want. But those are the 4 main ways that we are getting rid of the stuff that doesn't need to be sold. And then as far as selling, the primary way is Facebook Marketplace, unless we know of maybe some more expensive things that we can network on our own. I'm trying to sell a kayak. So if you know someone in DFW that wants a kayak, let me know. That is how we are managing those different things. And honestly, it's been surprisingly freeing to get rid of this attachment to the stuff in our house, because before, without this plan, I don't think I would have been able to get rid of the amount of stuff that I've been able to get rid of now. Plus, I would also still be in, like, I used to be a little shopper, okay? I like to go into the store, and I would have more of a shopper's mindset. But for the past 6 months, every time we go to a store, and we're like, oh, this is cute, is it gonna fit in our suitcase? No? Okay then. However, there are some things that we did buy in preparation for moving. So it helped to not get so much clutter and really focus on the things that we needed. Another overall big rule for decluttering that I've always liked is the 20 and 20 rule. If you can replace it for under $20 or 20 minutes, get rid of it. You don't even think about it anymore, okay? Because the odds are the money that you even make from selling some of your other stuff, if you need 1 extra cake pan that you didn't have before, then yeah, you can replace it in $20 and 20 minutes. It's time for it to leave your house. And it's okay. So that one is a nice barrier. I mean, if you want to change it to 50 and 50, that just depends on you and your line. But that has helped me quickly sort through a lot of these things. So the next area is our garage, and that is where we do all of our storage stuff. We don't have any additional storage units, so anything that would be quote unquote in storage is out there. And for the most part, it's just Christmas decoration. I love decorating for Christmas, okay? This house turns into a winter wonderland. So both garages have over-car racks that store all of the Christmas decor. And then in my garage, I have my shop out there where I can store all of my power tools, additional Christmas decor, and then any things that we need around the house, ladders, other types of equipment, and like repair items. I also have my shop out there. I like to redo furniture. If you look at some of my older videos, you can see me redoing furniture from my old apartment, which is not as conducive as you would think. I did it from inside my apartment, then out the front door, and then eventually I rented a garage and did it there. But now I have a full-fledged workshop out there and a large collection of furniture that needs to be finished before we go. So I'm also working on that. I am actively redoing the furniture and selling it. However, as we get closer, whatever I don't get to, I am just going to have to get rid of that way. The garage area is cleaned up and organized like it needs to be. The storage items in the garage are as simple as you would think. They're in plastic bins. Some have labels, some don't, but plastic bins up off the ground. That way things and dust and water cannot get to them. Anything else that would need to be in storage would also either go out there, or we might designate one closet for anything sentimental that maybe needs to be climate controlled. And the last area is things we're keeping in the house. So we don't have too much in our house to begin with because we're just 2 people. We are keeping pretty much all of our big furniture, couches, beds, tables, chairs. All of that will stay because we have to keep in mind that people will still be in the house. And we really wanted to make sure that it was comfortable for any of our friends or house sitters that would be staying here. Keeping basic linens. We have been decluttering the kitchen, but we're bringing it down to just minimal kitchen equipment and supplies and dishware. So maybe not having the overabundance that we had before, but enough for a few people to be able to share a meal and not have to wash a fork and share it. We are also gonna keep all of our smart tech and Wi-Fi. That way, if we need to be able to control anything remotely, we can. We have some smart light bulbs and Google equipment and things like that. So we wanna make sure that all of that stays active. That way we have access to it. And then finally, we are keeping all of our gym equipment. For some reason, as we told people we were leaving, their first thing was, can I have the tonal? Can I have the Peloton? No, I'm not getting rid of it. I love that thing. I use it all the time. So yes, we're gonna keep our gym equipment. So this mindset that we have is really so that we can leave room for change. Of course, our plan and our expectation, I guess, is to love the journey we're about to go on and to never want to stop traveling. And of course, we're travelers at heart. And so we know that there's a possibility that we could start this journey and want to keep extending it and extending it and extending it. But we also know there's a possibility that we could maybe like traveling for long periods of time and then coming home for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. So we're trying to be flexible on which path will be the one for us, and then making further decisions and refinements when we get there. We also don't want to use the space in our home for guilt storage. And I know that there are a lot of people that struggle with this because it's so real. I feel like people don't even talk about it enough, that fact that sometimes you just feel obligated to keep things because of who gave it to you or the situation that they gave it to you. And because of that, you feel like, well, I can't get rid of it. I need to store it. And if no one else gives you permission, let me give you permission. The purpose of a gift was in the act of the giving, okay? The giver got the enjoyment of giving it to you. You got the enjoyment of receiving it. From that moment on, it is yours to do with what you want. You do not have to keep a gift just because it was given to you, especially if it no longer serves a purpose in your home or in your life. This also goes to anyone that I've given a gift to. If you no longer want it, please get rid of it. You do not have to keep stuff I gave to you just because I gave it to you. I gave it to you. You don't have to tell me. I'll literally never know. But yes, once you own the item, it is yours to do with what you wish. So if it's sitting on a shelf or in a closet and it's been years, it might be time to let it back into the world. Free it. Free it for someone else to enjoy it. Because if you're not enjoying it, there may be someone that will. All of this is just to give us future possibilities. So if you are thinking about traveling for a long-term digital nomading, just know that there is no right way or wrong way to do it. And there's no right way or wrong way to handle your stuff at home. You can keep it all, sell it all, keep some, sell some. And as long as it works for you, then that is what we're looking for. So if you're watching this and you are preparing for a big move or just decluttering or wanting to completely change up your life, I hope this video helped. Letting go of stuff can be weirdly emotional, but also very empowering. And no, you do not have to be a minimalist, but you can be intentional on what you carry with you emotionally and physically. This entire journey is about intention over perfection. And you want to make sure that you are really thinking about what will work best for you and putting that into practice. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you know someone that this video will help, please send it to them and give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you will be notified every time I upload. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.